Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Subaru. Go further in a long-range Subaru hybrid with up to 597 miles per tank in the Crosstrek hybrid and up to 581 miles per tank in the Forester hybrid. Subaru. Love goes the extra mile. Visit Subaru.com/hybrid to learn more. Range based on EPA estimated combined fuel economy and a full tank of fuel. Actual mileage and range may vary.
With Venmo Stash, a toggle on one hand and ordering a ride in the other means you're stacking cash back. With Venmo Stash, get up to 5% cash back when you pick a bundle of your favorite brands. Earn more cash when you do more with Stash. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply. Max $100 cash back per month. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms.
Ever feel like your brain just won't click? Onnit Alpha Brain is a daily supplement engineered to support memory, focus, and mental speed. Made with science-backed ingredients, Onnit Alpha Brain helps you lock in, tune out distractions, and stay sharp. See what your brain can really do. Visit onnit.com and shop Alpha Brain to unlock your next level. That's ONNIT.com.
TaxAct understands you haven't memorized the tax code. That's why TaxAct has live experts to help. TaxAct can even do it for you if you prefer. It's the easiest way to know you're doing it right. Well, other than going back to college and obtaining a bachelor's degree in accounting with a minor in finance, then interning somewhere and becoming fluent in all tax forms. But that might be hard to accomplish before tax day. So maybe just stick with TaxAct. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
Who would have thought that we would have gone from stressing about the Eagles offense coordinator to potentially stressing about the Eagles defensive coordinator role on this team? Guys, welcome to the Eagles Checkdown, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is, covering news, notes, and opinions on your favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, jointly produced by the Eagles Pinball Podcast Network and the STT Sports Network over on YouTube. Whether you're watching the audio or the video, you guys know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever the buttons are on your screen, click them and tell your friends about these two great channels. And make sure you tune into the STT Sports Network Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. for 90 minutes of live sports talk on Trending in the AM, the #1 morning show in Philadelphia online, guys. This is the show where your opinions actually matter. This is the show where what you think is what drives the show. The people's show. The people's, morning show. Guys, we had breaking news. Obviously on Thursday, Sean Mannion became the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, and we were talking about that. We were worried about that for so long. But Adam Schefter spoke on 97.5 The Fanatic earlier last week about there being other big breaking news that was coming potentially to the Eagles, or something else big on the horizon. Well, this weekend we got nuggets from Jeff McLean and countless other Eagles beat reporters that other news was the potential that Vic Fangio, our defensive coordinator, our legendary defensive coordinator, was considering and contemplating retirement. Wow. Scary, right? Vic Fangio is the heartbeat of this team, or part of the heartbeat of this team. He leads this Eagles defense to being a dominant unit, and the potential loss of him after losing one of, if not his top defensive assistant in Christian Parker, really sent Philadelphia, up in arms. It really started the panic in Philadelphia. Now it seems like the trend and the conversation is that Vic Fangio will be back for one more year. But let's think about this for a second. This defense of the Eagles has been built into Vic Fangio's likeness, right? the loss of Christian Parker would be huge. And Christian Parker would not have left probably if there was a high likelihood that Vic Fangio was going. But being 68 years old, when the season starts, you got to start preparing, whether it's now or for later, for the eventual retirement of Vic Fangio. It's coming sooner rather than later. Like I said, he'll be 68 in late August, right? So right before the start of the season, he don't got many more years calling plays in the NFL, right? So whether it happens now or happens after the next year, I don't know. Nakobe Dean, there's a quote from Jeff McLean. He asked Nakobe Dean about Vic and the potential, because this almost happened after winning the Super Bowl last year, Vic Fangio retiring. And Nakobe Dean, basically, I'm going to paraphrase his answer. I don't know. He will stop coaching when it doesn't get fun for him anymore. That was Nakobe Dean quoting Vic Fangio. And obviously this past year had plenty of struggles and plenty of mental issues, for Eagles and Eagles fans. There's a lot of issues, on the table this past year. And maybe it stopped becoming fun for him. Maybe the enjoyment wasn't there for Vic Fangio anymore, and that's why he contemplated it. But it looks like he'll be back for one more year. But here's the thing. Everybody wants to know who's the next guy. Jim Schwartz, his name. He seems unhappy in Cleveland, being passed over for a head coaching spot. Again, Todd Monken taking that job. And Jim Schwartz, there's some love and some hate for him in Philadelphia. I get it. I understand it. Jonathan Gannon, people talking about bringing him back. You got to understand something. This defense was built in Vic Fangio's likeness. You've got a team that runs with 3 defensive tackles down and 2 edge rushers at a time that can drop into coverage. That's not everybody's scheme. That's not everybody's style. You go get a Jim Schwartz, you need more Josh Sweats, Trey Hendricksons of the world. Guys we've had like Josh Sweat, the studs like Trey Hendrickson out there. You need a different style. You need 3 linebackers, not 2, that we have in Jahad Campbell and Zach Bond. You would have to consider bringing back Nakobe Dean and stuff like that. So it changes so much in this. Clint Hurt is still here. There are disciples of, Vic Fangio still here with the loss of Christian Parker. And the Eagles need to really start planning for life post him. They really need to start planning for what this defense needs to look for, whoever the next guy is, whether it's someone that Vic Fangio is grooming to take over or someone from the outside that's got different philosophies that will play a massive, effect into how this offseason and future offseasons, go for the Eagles. So Vic Fangio is basically what Adam Schefter was talking about. But since it looks like he's going to stay for one more year, now we just got to start planning for the future there. And with the future, Sean Mannion is the guy. Sean Mannion will be here. There's a video, and Nick Foles was talking, because Nick Foles was the quarterback of the Rams when the Rams drafted Sean Mannion in the third round of the 2015 draft, and they spent that year together. And Nick Foles was massively impressed with Sean Mannion, saying that he thought he had like a photographic memory, the way he was remembering things. So that's good. People like doubting his experience, right? People forget Kellen Moore was only retired for 1 year from playing in the NFL as a backup quarterback before the Dallas Cowboys gave him the OC job. And we know how that worked out, right? Dallas for a couple of years, the Chargers that came here, major success. So it's not uncommon for a backup quarterback to get fast-tracked to being an offensive coordinator or a head coach in the NFL. The Eagles did make another adjustment to their coaching staff. There's a lot of talk coming up this week that there's going to be a lot of meetings and a lot of discussions about the coaching staff with Sean Mannion, right? The wide receiver coach, run game quarter, O-line, all the different, coaching jobs there. But the Eagles did hire Josh Grizzard, the former Buccaneers offense coordinator, to be their passing game coordinator, to be their number 2, basically under Sean Mannion. He also had 2 interviews with the Eagles for the OC role. He's got play calling experience. He's worked under Mike McDaniels and Liam Cohen, all from the McVay and Shanahan tree. A lot of experience there from Josh Grizzard. He actually, when he was in Tampa in 2024 and calling plays, they had the number 1 third down conversion rate in the NFL. Something that's very important. Something that's a big deal. So keep that in mind. But we'll see as this week plays out, the offensive coaching staff evolve in Sean Mannion's way. And I love the reports that Sean Mannion and Nick Sirianni, everybody's working together to put the best players, but also the best coaching staff on the field when it comes to players. Because tomorrow we're going to start my stay or go series over the next week or so. It's Super Bowl week, by the way. We'll get to that in a second. But they'll be working on that. And the salary cap is projected to go up to a minimum of $301.2 million, up to upwards of almost $306 million. It was $279.2, so another $23 million at least being raised. 2022, it was only a $200 million salary cap. So we're going over $100 million, almost 50% increase over the last, 4 years in the salary cap. It's crazy. That's why dead cap hits A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, others don't affect what Howie Roseman does, because the cap's just going to keep going up every single year. So that's that. Finally, it is Super Bowl week. We've come a long way from last year's Super Bowl week. This point last year, we're talking about the Super Bowl and the Eagles' chances of getting their second title. And man, I'm just sitting here thinking in my mind about how far we've come, how much has changed over the last, year only. And man, it's brutal. It's brutal to think about. It's brutal to think that we're not there, but now we move on, right? Now we work on figuring out how we get back there next year. And that's what we end with right there, guys. We got a jam-packed show this week. Lots of content coming your way. Everybody have a great Monday, though. Go Birds. And always bubbles up.
Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
When you want your spring break to feel like... and your kids' pool day to feel like... and your hotel bed to feel like... ooh, and room service to feel like... because at Hilton, hospitality feels like...
Your cabana's ready. Would you like fresh towels?
It matters where you stay. Book now at Hilton.com. Hilton, for the stay.
Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Get 2 times membership rewards points per dollar on eligible purchases in key business categories, as well as on each eligible purchase of $5,000 or more, on up to $2 million in eligible purchases per calendar year. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.